Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In today's session we are going to make buttons. Yes, I am also hopping onto the bandwagon, maybe a little bit later than the rest, a couple of weeks, months maybe even, I'm not sure anymore. It was all the rave on Pinterest and YouTube and all the crafting sites. Buttons can be included so easily, and we don't always find exactly the same color or size that we want for our project. So let's get into it. Again, I'm going to use some scraps. So it is an amazing scrap project. What we need are some circle punches, and we need a tiny one, not the normal hole punch. This has got a very, I will try and bring it closer so you can see, maybe there you can see the little pin. It is really, really tiny. It makes a very, very small hole. Now let me see if I have something here that I can easily punch without having an issue. I'll just do the corner and you will see it is really very small. It's a tiny little thing. So we will be using that, and then of course our circle punches. Now I do hope mine is going to work with us today. Mostly when I punch some cardstock, they play well, but not always. So when you do a tag, you would probably add one or two. So this is not very, very thick. So I'll start with the smallest one, and I'll always turn over my my punch. I always turn over my punch. Yes, you see with cardstock it still works. So let's do a few small ones. I have to do an orange tag for a challenge anyway, so these will be useful for that. This is right on the edge. And then while we're at it, let's do a 3/4 inch. This is 5/8 of an inch. I'll do a 3/4 inch. Just get it to fit nicely on us. See, this one doesn't work too beautifully. There we have it. Maybe make 4 from this one and this side. Now one piece of scrap is gone. Now I know that some junk journalists would add this to a art journal page, so I will try one just to show you that I do use these things. So I'll keep that one to one side just because we are going to try that. Now for this one I'm going to use a bigger punch, so you can use whatever scrap papers you have. And I'll show you what we do from here. If you want it thicker, say for instance you want to use it as a closure on a journal, I would suggest to back it on another cardstock a little bit thicker than this. This is about 100 GSM, if that much. So it won't be the sturdiest of buttons. But if you're only going to use it as a decoration, then it should be perfect. I want to just fit this in as much as I possibly can. There we have one. And maybe we can get another one out. I should have thought about this before I started punching. And it's fine, it's not an issue. But it would have been perfect. So that can go to the dustbin. I just love it. Now this is paper. This will be very, very, very thin. But if you're just going to glue it down on a tag or a little card, maybe a label, part of a collage, it shouldn't be a problem. See, it doesn't even want to punch it. I'm going to tear it off there. Put it down, and I'm going to fold this so that I have it double on here. Let's see if that should fit. Let's see if we can fit that in, and maybe if it's a double layer it will punch easier. There we go. So that one we will just cut out. This will now not work, so I'm just going to grab, say for instance, a post-it note, and we will add that there and then punch. And see if we can get this silly punch to work now. Now the post-it note. So that's another trick for you. If you see that your punches are not working properly, you can then always just add another piece, whether that is book pages, scrap piece, it doesn't matter. I just want to trim this little one, and I think we will get the idea with this. So I'll just stop here with these ones, move that one side. Right, so now we're going to just take our inking tool. I like vintage, you know that. Just want to get ink on that. You can really sit and work this off one day. I'll just turn it over. I would want the blue part. Yes, you could have done it smaller, and you can make it per project. So in other words, if you need blue ones, you can keep that. You can maybe sit and work off your scrap one day and just make your buttons. Now, the next step after the inking would involve, I'll just do, say, this one too. This will give that vintage feel. Let me just quickly ink this, because this will now bother me that I can't get to the name of that product. The product I'm talking about is this one, clear gloss or glossy accent. But you can add this just to give a little bit more of a finished look. So let's just finish inking some of these. Not to say I will finish all of them on camera, but at least let's do the yellow ones finished, and maybe one or two of the orange, as I need to use that for a challenge on one of my South African pages. Yes, girls, this is a shout out to you. And paper and other crafts. If you have, I want to just show you this. If you look, that one is not so neat and tidy. It's a slight difference in the color, absolutely slight, but it makes such a big difference when you do ink your edges. And it's all these little bits that is actually making a project so much more special. Just want to quickly ink these ones, then they're all done, and I can work with them. This 5/8 of an inch punch is really, really small. There we have that. Let's do the blue ones also. I'm going to add these two on top of each other, just so that they are a little bit more sturdy, but thicker, easier to manage. And then I'll just do the other side. Of course, this is really paper, very thin. So there we have that. All right, next step, punching those holes. The next step is to punch those holes. Now, I'm just moving the little, I'll do those off camera. I'll show you with the bigger ones. What I need is a pencil. So I'm going to just make 4, and this is really, really difficult. So I probably have to use a pen so I can rather see the lines. There and there, maybe there and there. They look a little bit as if they are skew. We will see in a bitty. Now this is why I needed to see the holes, because this is really tiny. And there we have it. I'll put this on the cardstock so you can see the little holes. So let's try with the blue, these little cardstock ones. Again, line them up, and then just do your holes. And you can do them all first before you start with the punching, so that it's like a production line almost. You can go ahead and do two button holes, I mean to say. For that, you'll do it right in the middle. I think those might be a tiny bit off. And the last little yellow one, then you can start punching these little punched out parts. So now that you can see the holes, where you must make the holes, you can go ahead and punch that. I punched mine right next to it instead of on top of it. The second one is better. There we go. So just line it up. then these ones, that has got 4 holes. This one is really a bit skew. And then the last yellow one. And these tiny ones will be a whole lot more difficult. And for those, I'll show you a cheat way. So what I do is I fold a post-it note over so that it can glue onto itself. Then I put this down. Obviously I should have just marked the holes. And I'll just show you with one. And then I go in, line it up so that you have somewhere to hold onto, and you punch your little holes. And you can take that off, and you're ready for the next one. So there you know how to do the little ones as well. That is so difficult. You can put it with a glue dot on one side where you know it is not going to be punched. Of course, you don't want your tiny little punch to be clogged, but there you have the idea. Hope you enjoyed today's session with making some buttons. If you then want to add it to a tag, say for instance this was a tag, you could have now just glued your little buttons on there. Now these ones are not the same type, but look at that. Isn't that just too stinking cute? Like they say, cute as a button. Thanks for joining me today. Go try making your own buttons, work with those scraps, and stretch your stash a little bit. If you want to see more content like this, give me a thumbs up. And as always, I'll be appreciating it if you subscribe to my channel too. If you haven't hit that notification bell yet, please do so that you can be notified of new content whenever I upload it. See you back soon. Goodbye.